They told her it was just the wind, that hospitals make strange sounds at night. But when Nurse Clara followed the crying baby's voice down that dark corridor, she didn't find a baby. She found something buried deep beneath the hospital, something that was never supposed to be heard. And by the time anyone believed her, it was already too late. It was a cold October night in Millbrook, Oregon. The kind of quiet that hums, where every drip of an 4 sounds like a ticking clock. Nurse Clara Duval had worked 12 years at Millbrook General, a small-town hospital with an overworked night staff and flickering fluorescent lights that buzzed louder than the patients. She was steady, calm, the kind of nurse who'd seen everything. But that night, that sound, it wasn't like anything she'd ever heard before. It started in the neonatal ward. A faint crying over the intercom. Then sharper. A baby's cry. Clara checked the monitors. All 3 newborns were asleep. She muted the ward speaker. The sound didn't stop. She looked up. The old wall intercom light flickered. The sound was coming from the old East Wing. That part of the hospital had been closed since 2011, after a flood and a rumored incident that no one talked about anymore. She radioed maintenance. "You hearing that noise on the east side?" Static. Then silence. She exhaled, set down her clipboard, and started walking. The east hallway was colder than it should have been. Her shoes echoed, click, click, through the dim light. Old signage still hung crooked, maternity ward, east. A place frozen in time. The cry came again. Louder now. "Hello," Clara called, half whispering. Her flashlight beam caught something, a small handprint. But not a baby's. Too big for that. Too small for an adult. Her radio crackled suddenly. "Clara? You're not in the East Wing, are you?" It was Sam, the security guard. "I heard something. I'm checking it out," she replied. Static again. Then a voice, not Sam's, whispered through the radio, "Don't let them cry alone." At the end of the corridor was a door she'd never seen unlocked before. Room 3. The paint peeled around the handle. Her master key didn't fit, but the cry came from inside. Soft, desperate, human. Clara's heart pounded. She found a fire axe behind the extinguisher cabinet and smashed the latch. The door swung open. Inside was a room preserved like a time capsule, cribs, faded toys, a rocking chair still moving as if someone had just left. And on the wall, written faintly in chalk, no records, no names. The crying had stopped. Then came a sound behind her, the hum of the old intercom, "Still live." And through it, a voice, "They're still here." The next morning, Clara told the hospital director what she'd heard. They laughed it off. "Old wiring," they said. "Ghost stories," said another nurse. But Clara had found something else, a stack of water-damaged patient files left in that room, each labeled with the same surname, Doe. Baby Doe. Mother, unknown. Father, not applicable. Dozens of them. All born between 2008 and 2011, the same years before the East Wing closed. And one file had her supervisor's signature on it. She took the files home, scanning through them after her shift. Every record listed the same delivery doctor, Dr. Malcolm Hurst, a respected obstetrician who had retired early after health issues. Clara had worked under him once. She remembered the rumors that he took night shifts alone, that he always kept the nursery doors locked. The next night, she went back to the hospital early. This time, she recorded everything. But before she could reach the East Wing again, Sam the guard stopped her. "Clara, you need to leave that alone," he warned. She frowned. "You've heard the cries too, haven't you?" Sam looked away. "They aren't coming from inside the hospital." The next time the cries came, Clara followed the sound again, this time tracing it to a service elevator that hadn't worked in years. But the light was on. She forced the gate open and climbed down the shaft, using the metal ladder. The cries echoed louder the lower she went. At the bottom, a tunnel. Concrete walls. Pipes dripping. It led to a locked door marked Archive B. Inside was not an archive. It was a room of hospital bassinets covered in dust. Each crib had a nameplate, Baby Doe number 1, Baby Doe number 2, and so on. Empty. Except one. A single newborn blanket lay folded neatly, stained dark brown. And next to it, an old cassette recorder. Clara pressed play. The tape hissed, then a woman's voice spoke. They said no one would know. That these babies didn't exist. That no one would remember their mothers. Then faint crying. Then silence. The next day, Clara brought the tape and files to the hospital director. He paled when he saw them. "Where did you find these?" "In the basement," she said. "Under the east wing." He swallowed hard. "Clara, that area was sealed for a reason. There were irregularities in Dr. Hurst's adoption program." "Adoption?" Clara demanded. "Unregistered births," he admitted. He arranged adoptions for unwanted babies, mostly from unwed mothers who couldn't pay. The hospital covered it up. "But those mothers," Clara said, "they were patients. They trusted us." His eyes hardened. "Drop it, Clara, or you'll lose your license." That night, Clara couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard those cries again. She went back to the hospital one last time, intent on collecting more evidence. In the east wing, the lights flickered violently. Her phone camera caught shadows, shapes of people standing in the hallway. She whispered, "Who are you?" And over the intercom, that same woman's voice whispered back, "The mothers." Suddenly, the temperature dropped. Every monitor in the neonatal ward blipped at once. The cries rose in volume, overlapping dozens of voices. Then, in the reflection of the nursery glass, Clara saw them, women in faded hospital gowns, standing behind her, all watching her with hollow eyes. One of them stepped forward and whispered, "Find our children." When the morning staff arrived, Clara was gone. Her car was still in the parking lot. Her phone left recording on the floor of the east corridor. The audio captured her voice saying, "It's okay. I'll help you," followed by dozens of overlapping baby cries. 2 days later, police searched the sealed basement. They found over 40 boxes of unfiled medical records, records of women admitted between 2008 and 2011 who were listed as discharged, but never documented leaving. They also found a skeleton wrapped in a nurse's uniform and a hospital ID badge reading Clara Duval. But here's the strangest part. The night after her discovery, the crying stopped. Completely. And for the first time in 14 years, the East Wing was quiet. A few months later, renovations began on the old East Wing. Workers reported lights turning on by themselves, nursery music boxes playing on their own, and occasionally, a calm female voice over the old PA saying, "Shoo, it's okay now." When the hospital reopens next year, there will be a new plaque by the nursery door, dedicated to the mothers and children of Millbrook General, never forgotten. And some nights, the staff swears they still hear her. Nurse Clara, making her rounds, singing softly to the babies that were never named.